Welcome to another episode of Inspiring Insights via Health Advocacy on UNIMEDTH Media. This week, we join the global community in commemorating World Breastfeeding Week, recognized by WHO. Breastfeeding isn't about feeding, it's about life-saving nutrition, immunity, and long-term developmental gains. And with us, we have medical experts, consultants, pediatrician from University of Medical Sciences Teaching Hospital in Ondo. Before we dive into the discussion, let's have a brief moment of introduction. Yeah, welcome. Welcome to UNIMEDTH Media, a media platform that focuses on spotlighting stories, voices, and experts shaping healthier future. And this week we are joining the rest of the world in commemorating World Breastfeeding Week. And we have an expert, a pediatrician, and also that specializes in treating, seeing to the welfare of children. So in the house, so that our audience can know that yes, we are not manufacturing stories, we are not manufacturing facts or fiction. We are really getting the truth from the horse's mouth. A little introduction, sir, of yourself. Let's start with Dr. first, then to you, sir.
Thank you very much. You're welcome, viewers. My name is Dr. Akikumi Bola Francis. I'm a consultant pediatrician. I'm the head of the Department of Pediatrics and Child Health in the University of Medical Science and the University of Medical Science Teaching Hospital. Thank you very much.
And with him also is?
I'm Dr. Afe Duke. I'm also a consultant pediatrician. I'm the consultant in charge of the Neonatology Intensive Care Unit, University of Medical Science Teaching Hospital, and also a staff of the University of Medical Science.
Wow, so we have experts in the house. So today's conversation promises to be very insightful. As a pediatrician, sir, what are the health benefits of breastfeeding to parents, especially new parents? Can you just share insights?
Thank you very much. The health benefit of breastfeeding to parents is enormous. You can categorize that the health benefit of breastfeeding to the mother, the health benefit of breastfeeding even to the father. Let's start with the mother. The mother is the one that has carried the baby for 9 months,
Yes.
and is actually giving a psychological fulfillment to nurse your baby. So it's a great advantage for her to see her baby being nursed at the breast. That is one. Then the second important advantage for her is she will be able to nurse the baby without spending much on her own part. She doesn't need to go ahead and buy artificial milk or buy feeding bottle or boil water. The stress of boiling water, washing things, that stress is reduced a lot if she nurses at the breast. And we know that mothers that breastfeed are at a reduced risk of having breast cancer. Then, during pregnancy, the woman increases in size a little bit, and the stored fat and everything during breastfeeding is gradually reduced, so the woman looks good back and her shape comes back. And importantly, when the woman is breastfeeding, it causes a release of oxytocin, which causes the uterus to contract and the uterus go back to the normal size. So keeping her shape the more very good. And then if a woman can breastfeed exclusively all day all night, it's a kind of family planning, we call it lactational amenorrhea. So good breastfeeding practice, faithful to it, can help the woman to space the childbirth. That's to the mother. Then to the father. The father is the breadwinner, is the one that will bring out the money for other things. Breastfeeding is really economical and pocket friendly. A tin of artificial milk now is going to close to 20,000, and baby that feed very well can consume maybe 2 or 3 in a week, 60,000. So for a family that engage in breastfeeding, it's a lot of money safe for them. And when you are not spending much, when you have money to spend on other things, it give you psychological fulfillment that you are doing this together. You can spend the money, so it's beneficial to the mother and as well as the father too.
Wow, thanks a lot for that insightful conversation there. Really, to even keep in shape, because some women, they are really concerned about their body shape after putting to bed, and so exclusive breastfeeding can help women get back in shape.
Yeah.
Wow. So to you, doctor, is exclusive breastfeeding crucial for child's health in development?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. Just the way breastfeeding has importance to the mother, the father, extending even to the community, it is very, very beneficial to the child. Now, the breast milk contains a lot of nutrients. Some even has been tried to be replicated by the people producing formula feeds, but yet they cannot. Now, one very important nutrient you see in the breast milk is that it has fat, enough fat that is necessary for the baby to grow. So exclusive breastfeeding is important for the baby to grow. It has what you call immunoglobulins. Now immunoglobulins helps our immunity. So you see a child that is exclusively breastfed has good immunity to fight against common childhood infections that you see around, like acute respiratory diarrhea that affects children. So a child that is exclusively breastfed or breastfed very well has limited exposure to coming down with such condition. Now going back to the fats that I spoke about, those fats are important even in brain development. I won't want to bore us with the names of those fats, but when you see a child that is exclusively breastfed, you see the child is happy, the child interacts with his environment very well. It has vitamins, it has water that is very, very essential to keep the child's body nourished. And then beyond that, it contains proteins also to help the child build up the child's tissue, to build up the child's general body well-being. So exclusive breastfeeding, it's feeding only breast milk on demand to that child at least 8 to 12 times a day. Do you understand? For the first 6 months of life. Now breastfeeding goes beyond 6 months. Exclusive breastfeeding, 6 months. So you see, breastfeeding, you have to continue breastfeeding the child. WHO recommends up to 2 years, but because most of these mothers, they are working class, some of them, they don't want, you hear excuses, they don't want their breast to sag, so they stop. But the benefits of this breast milk is that, recapping, it contains nutrients that is needed for the child to grow in form of fats, forms of protein. It has water that will help the child in hydrating the child. It has immunoglobulin that will help in the child's immunity, and then generally help them prevent those disease conditions that you normally see in children that affects them. So a child that is well breastfed, it's better.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. You said something that's on demand.
Yes.
That means there are some children, they won't demand. I've noticed some children, after giving birth to them, they won't even cry, like maybe they don't just feel like eating. So how can parents now help those kind of...
Thank you very much for that question. Now, there are some babies, when you talk about following delivery, they don't cry. That is a different ballgame.
Yes.
Probably that child has what you call severe or perinatal asphyxia. Now, let's come to a child that came out very well, but don't cry regularly for food. Now, remember in the definition I said at least 8 to 12 times. So it's the responsibility of the mother to wake up the baby. Because baby most times they sleep in the daytime and they can go for 16 hours. So you have to wake them at intervals every 2-3 hours to eat. You just have to wake them by tapping on their feet or just patting them gently and putting the breast into their mouth. And you see them, they'll suckle and they'll sleep again. So you have to wake them to eat at good intervals. So if you're doing 2 hours or 3 hours, if you calculate it, that's 8 to 12 times. But for a baby that is actively sucking, anytime the baby wants food, even though you just gave the baby the food 1 hour ago, please give the baby the breast milk again. Let them just eat. It's important to them.
Yes, thank you so much for that insightful and amazing point. That's a real side. That's all. From your own point of view, now parents that maybe the mother went through CS and situations just warrant we have to separate the parent, the mother and the child from different ward. What can you advise, or those gaps, how do people around help to support that kind of mother to carry out exclusive breastfeeding? Maybe the mother just, it's not possible for her to, that 8 to 12 9 or 8 to 12 times, it's not possible because of her health maybe condition. What can you, in your experience, I know you would have encountered such, so how will you help such a mother, at least the child to gain, because we learned that the first breast milk even from the mom after birth is very very important for brain development. So why would the child miss that? What are the things in place for just help?
Thank you very much for that question. Here, Ms. Smelling, I have practical and life experience. For if a woman have cesarean section, that is not reason to stop breastfeeding. Even immediately after delivery, we advocate that the child should be put to breast 30 minutes after delivery. Even on the operation table, the child can be put to breast there because the breast is already prepared, milk is prepared, waiting for the baby to come. So the baby just needs to suck on it to let it down. So if the baby is put to breast, even after delivery, after cesarean section, milk will naturally come down. So, and if the mother is helped to express the milk can be taken to the baby to feed. So this can actually bridge the gap. There can be occasions in which that it can be very difficult, the mother is not sitting down very well. Putting the baby to breast in itself is one of the processes that stimulates milk production, because it's when the child sucks that the brain notices that, okay, there is calling for production. It releases prolactin that stimulates milk production, releases oxytocin that cause milk to be expressed. So putting the baby to breast is actually essential. We should not separate them. The occasion that can be difficult, you can manually express, or the mother gets expressing breast pump to express. On very, very, very rare occasion, you can get pre-lactic feed, which we don't really encourage. Just pre-lactic feed, let me just put it that way. Take this feeding for 1 or 2 times before the normal flow starts coming. So that's what I can put it. I would like Dr. Afek to add to that too.
So you said almost everything. So like what we operate here, what we try to do, like what you said, if they are separated, you could go with the express breast milk, because as long as the breast milk is coming out, more will be produced. And like what my head of department just said, once the baby is sucking on the breast, it comes out. So there's no really any point to say, because she has CS, she should not breastfeed. So CS is not a contraindication to breastfeeding. A mother and the baby being apart, the baby can always have the breast milk expressed and fed to the baby via cup and spoon. And that will do.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow, so insightful. Thanks a lot, sir. Now, we have many myths, misconception about exclusive breastfeeding, that I can't just like you said about sagging. So can you just tell mothers that some of those myths, and then to reorientate them to change their perception about why they need to just do this?
Breastfeeding. Okay. Thank you very much for that. At least it's even a follow-up to what you said, and I want to appreciate your media for coming out. Now this week, it's Breastfeeding Week that just celebrated every 1st to 7th of August, and it's an opportunity for us to tell the world about breastfeeding. Now the theme for this year was prioritizing breastfeeding, creating sustainable system. So if we paint the picture starting from where Dr. Akinkumi started from, about the benefits to the mother. Now, if you tell the mother that if you breastfeed, it helps you get back into shape, it helps your uterus contract back to size, it also prevents you from having breast cancer. I don't think, except such person does not understand what you are saying, that the person will not want to practice it. Now, if you tell the woman that breastfeeding helps save money in this current day economy that we have, if you have to buy a tin of formula feed for as high as 20,000, and you are feeding the child the way you ought to feed the child, you'll be running like 60,000 per week. Do you understand? So if you get to know the benefits that is going to help the pocket, why won't you do it? Now, if you look at it again, let's expound it to the community. We've talked about economy, we've talked about the economy, the community. Now, those things and all those the things that they are saved in will prevent pollution, if you look at it from that light. Now, the parents ought to see the benefit. You look at your child, a child that's exclusively breastfed has good cognition, grows well. Do you understand? Most of the components in the breast milk can't be replicated. Like breast milk is hypoallergenic, meaning babies that have breastfed are very or little or no risk of having allergies later on. Now, those that have other that were not exclusive breastfed are predisposed to having allergies. So if you tell a woman that if you breastfeed your child has little or no chance of having allergy, she should buy into that. You tell her about the shape, she should buy into that. So I think that once parents and individuals start seeing the benefits of breastfeeding, and that's where we come in as advocates. Now, your media is an advocate. It's giving us a platform to speak to people. When you go to markets, when you go to church, when you go to the mosques, you should also tell people about these benefits. In that way, the myths will be debunked. Talking about the other myth of colostrum too, a lot have been said about it. Is dirty breast milk, is this breast milk, but thank God you know the importance of it. It's very, very highly packed for the baby. So such myths should be debunked by the media houses and by we generally.
Thanks a lot, Doctor. So, Dr. Akipumi, what of some children or some infants that they can suck, especially, I think, particularly the male folks, they will suck the nipple to the extent like the mother will feel like crying, and the mother, who knows the health benefits, wants to, in her inner heart, wants to, but seeing the circumstances, what can parents do to help the situation, or what is even the cause of that kind of pain so around the nipple?
Okay, thank you very much. You're just getting the right technique. If the child is put to bed properly, what is described as latching on, the nipple will not be sore. The mistake at times is they do not put the areola, the dark part of the breast, into the mouth. The process of latching on is that the baby opens the mouth, the dark part of the breast is in the mouth, and the nipple is touching the upper palate. So the squeezing, sucking effect of the baby is on the areola, not on the nipple. So it's just squeezing as if you are pressing something out of a juice. But if it's just sucking on the areola is just a tiny portion, just as if somebody is eating momo, and after some time the place will be sore and it will be breaking. It's actually frustrating. Enough milk is not coming out. It's painful to the mother. Mother and child are frustrated. But if there is a proper latching on, milk will be coming out, more will be produced. And I used to say that the work of the baby during breastfeeding is suck and sleep. Once they have enough, they will remove their mouth gradually and they will sleep. So the thing to say is they should latch on properly. The areola should be in the mouth, so the nipple will not be sore. So the male that suck very well, if they are latched on very well, they'll have enough and the mother and baby will be happy.
Wow. Thanks a lot, sir. Really gaining insights. Back to the other time you said about is it 8 to 12 times, and breastfeeding just exclusive for 6 months and it's continuous for 2 years according to the WHO too. But some children, maybe after 1 year, they just feel like this child is no more sucking, maybe by himself or herself, I'm not sucking again. And some parents, they are scared, especially the mom, like maybe she's already pregnant and maybe she's not after checking up, and the baby just feel like is no more sucking or she's no more sucking. Is there any factor or anything that causes baby should just, after 8 months, now explosive have been done, after 8 months the baby just decides is no longer sucking the breast, and the WHO recommends to 2 years. So there needs to be responsible for that, Doctor.
Okay, thank you very much. The ideal thing is you should ask them to do exclusive for 6 months, continue breastfeeding into the 2nd year of life. Ideally, after 6 months, we notice that the breast milk will not be sufficient, calorie dense enough to meet the energy requirement of the baby. So we introduce what is called complementary feeds, other family diet. So the breast milk at that stage is not the main meal of the baby. The advantage of the breast milk is because it still have the immunoglobulins, the ingredients that help the brain develop, that stops respiratory infections, things in mother's breast milk that helps its immunity. The advantage is there, but breast milk is not the major meal. Other things are the major meal. So if a working class or any woman can continue, advisable. But at any point in time, the child decides to stop, we can just encourage the mother to try to put the baby to breast or express for him or her to suck the milk. There's no really problem if the child stops in time, because breast milk at that time is not the major source of milk. It's just an addition to the food that the child is taking.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, sir. We're already wrapping up already. Just one final shot to mothers, and especially working class mothers who are concerned about their job, and maybe to the government on how they can really help working class to just embrace exclusive breastfeeding. The parting shots.
Okay, thank you very much. Looking at it from the aspect of government, currently now, if you know, the maternity leave is now 6 months. So at least the government is trying to, say that we are supporting you, we are giving you time to breastfeed your child. Now that's government. Now even the fathers too have been given 2 weeks to paternity leave once your wife gives birth. Now government is doing that part. Now there are some other setups that have rooms or avenues for mothers to breastfeed. Not everybody have adopted a 6 months maternity leave. Some people are still doing their 3 months, some people are still doing 4 months, and exclusive breastfeeding is for 6 months. So in that aspect, they have rooms, breastfeeding rooms, where they can allow those women go and breastfeed. Now for other persons working in private settings like banks, where they may not really have time, that's where the expressing now comes into play. Do you understand? Because the breast milk can be expressed and saved, you understand, and warm and fed to the child. So government is playing its own part, and then we as staff, co-staffs of breastfeeding mothers, you see, they try to make their job lighter. A woman working in a very busy place, she has resumed back her job. We may just give her light duty, which is something we do here for our breastfeeding mothers. We give them light duty when they are back, because they are still actively breastfeeding. I think people generally have to be part of this system. Do you understand? That's why it says prioritizing it. Why we put it in the forefront? How can we support mothers? Because aside it has an emotional toll on them. You can imagine a woman that is breastfeeding. She has been at work for a very long hour. She's stressed, because that could also affect milk production. If she's stressed, if she's not relaxed, so even the family setup, the government setup, and government is trying by providing them with that period of time for them to do exclusive breastfeeding. So I think more advocacy should be in the forefront. We should talk about it. we should not stigmatize mothers. You see, before, some mothers can't even breastfeed in public, so you have to let them know that, see, madam, it's for your baby, it's for your own good. Do you understand? So some places, even in public setups, can be created breastfeeding room, so for those that can't openly breastfeed, you could just have some simple place where they can go in, expose themselves, they have their privacy, and they breastfeed their baby, and you don't make them feel bad on breastfeeding their babies in public. So I think that will help in the long run.
Yes,
Thank you.
indeed. Great advocacy there. Yes, to you, Dr. Akinkunmi, your parting shots, like, what recommend one key change that could inspire to nursing mothers, and also to our grandmas who have this perception like the agbo, you have to give water, breast milk is not enough. Your parting shot to enforce that indeed exclusive breastfeeding is sufficient and is the way to go.
Thank you very much. Let me start by appreciating the government, Ondo State Government, for being one of the forefronts in this federation to give 6-month maternity leave for nursing mother. That's very commendable. And for 2 weeks paternity leave for the fathers to support. Even our institution, in UNIMEDTH teaching hospital here, we have crèche. Our crèche is close by. We want to appreciate our CMD and the management too for creating such environment. People that are nursing mother that just resume from their 6 months still have a crèche where they can put their babies and they can go there in between duties to breastfeed. That is really commendable. Then to our grannies, somebody was asking me yesterday, and I give them this example. Who helps? We're not really comparing human beings to animals, but we are in the biological settings. We are all animals, so to say. Who helps the goat, the dog, to feed their baby? Do they use agbo? It's the same breast milk they use throughout. Yes. So, and we are higher animals with better knowledge. So the breast milk is actually very, 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 very sufficient. Addition to it is not necessary. Grandma at home, please, breast milk exclusively for 6 months without adding water is adequate. I have a testimony to it. In fact, if I can show you the photograph of my last baby that was exclusively breastfed, it looks very healthy and good looking. So they should do it and not force the concoction that we don't know the content. If we even know the content, the quantity we don't know, such things cause problem for the babies. So let them encourage the nursing mothers and give them opportunities to breastfeed our babies exclusively, because a generation prepared adequately today is a future assured. So breastfeed our baby very well in Nigeria, and we'll see a better Nigeria with good leaders, with good brain.
Thanks a lot. And that's today's episode of Inspiring Insight on Unimed Media, and it's been a wonderful conversation with our expert pediatrician from Unimed Teaching Hospital. Indeed, breastfeeding is not about feeding, it's about life-saving nutrition. Thank you once again, doctors.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure having you.